Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first ever Steel Factory podcast, bringing you just news and discussions of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're fresh off the wild card loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, ending a 9-7-1 season where we snuck in as a seventh seed, and then didn't give up much fight in the wild card game for Ben Roethlisberger's potential last game ever. Great career. Not enough could be said, but we'll get into that on another episode, perhaps. Joined today by my co-host,
I'm Rudy.
I'm Chewy.
and yeah, let's just go right into it. Just kind of recap the game. We opened up first quarter scoreless on both sides, and which is a victory in our eyes. Or at the time, we were like, all right, we're doing what we could. We wish our offense would keep moving the ball more. But we were stopping the Chiefs. We were limiting anything they did. Mahomes had thrown an interception off a TJ Watt deflection into Devin Bush, who had a really disappointing year. I'm gonna just add that. Coming off of was it ACL last year?
Yeah.
Early in the season.
Yeah. And then after like back to back punts from both teams, we finally made another splash play. TJ Watt recovered a fumble forced by Cam Hayward off a weird wild card play. I don't know what they were trying to do on the Chiefs side. They tried to get cute and a bad snap. Couldn't even get the handoff off. And our front four were there, which they've been great all year. Besides the run, and TJ Watt recovered a fumble, run it back like 30 yards, and from there we're like, well, we actually might have a chance. Well, little did we know the Mahomes in the offense would just take over. They scored like on 6 straight drives, touchdowns. And one of the things that I had talked about was that, or I thought about, is that if we could like kind of just limit their touchdowns and force them to kick field goals, our offense could, maybe put up a fight. But no, each time they got into the red zone, it was just a touchdown, and that happened in 6 straight drives. Starting after that recovery by TJ for the touchdown. Mahomes just started lighting us up. He went for 404 yards, completed 30 of his 39 passes, 5 touchdowns. That Travis Kelce threw a touchdown as well, just to add insult to injury. They started doing all these gadget plays. In my eyes, were unnecessary, but hey, flex what you got, whatever. But the game was really kind of lost, and we really felt the momentum slip away after the Chiefs had came back to tie it up after the TJ fumble recovery. And our offense got the ball back, right? So we need to answer back at this point, to keep pace, because they're starting to warm up. Deontay Johnson drops a ball like on a 3rd and 2 on a little crossing route that he's ran numerous times throughout the year, and the drops just eventually just came back to haunt him, just like they did last year. And we basically had to punt the ball back. Mahomes leads another scoring drive, making it 14-7. At this point, we're past the 2-minute warning, I believe, and we're just, we're trying to just, maybe play it smart, keep the ball away from Mahomes, let the time tick. And what do? We have another 3 and out. We punt to them. The defense does a good job bringing them to a 3rd and 20. I think there was an Alex Highsmith sack at that point on the 2nd down. Then 3rd and 20, Mahomes just strips it downfield to Kelce, and they hook up for like a 45-yard touchdown. And that took us to halftime, down 21-7. Then the Chiefs come back out of the half. I don't know why we decided to defer. Or no, we decided to keep the ball. We won the toss for once. And then I don't know what we were expecting. Our offense has done nothing in the first quarter all year long. We've known it takes them a while to get going, if they get going at all throughout the game. And we kicked the ball off to Mahomes right after they had just scored. They go down, score again. We get the ball back. And Najee Harris fumbles, I believe, on the first play by the offense in the second half. Led to another Chiefs touchdown. I think it's at 35-7 at that point. And we could have just wrote the game off there. A couple garbage time touchdowns for Ben Roethlisberger, who finished 215 yards out of 20 with 29 out of 44 passes, 2 touchdowns. Najee, 12 carries for 29 yards. I don't think he even played in the 4th quarter. I'm not really sure what was up with that. I don't know if he maybe re-aggravated his elbow.
Maybe they just didn't want him to get hurt.
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean, no reason, pretty much.
It's like, why bother?
Exactly. James Washington led receivers with yards, only receiving 2 passes for 37 yards and a touchdown. He made both of those passes were beautiful though. It's a shame that I could see him really walking this offseason. Whatever team is gonna get him, I'm pretty sure they'll be utilizing him. He just never really found a spot in our offense, and we were kind of aware of that in the preseason when there was rumors that he wanted to trade. But what can you do? We'll kind of dive into player interviews because there was a lot of interesting things. Some on um players, basically describing what happened with the game, and of course, their thoughts on Ben as he perhaps played his last game. I'm gonna go to a Mike Tomlin clip first. Um, and we're ready. We'll go.
Ready?
Yeah. All right.
Game plans are irrelevant, man. We didn't execute nearly well enough. We didn't. I mean, it was several, minutes into the third quarter. We had 2 first downs. You're just not going to keep pace with a lot of people like that, particularly an offense as explosive as the one that Kansas City has.
So, game plans are irrelevant. I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. Of course, execution is important, but it kind of just raises a question mark considering what Deontay had to say in his interview the morning after the game, which I'll play right now. Are you guys ready for that one?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It was times, like where we would see certain stuff out there that we would see, and we just felt like certain stuff wasn't going our way at times, but at the end of the day, we can just do what the coaches tell us to do. Although we talk amongst each other about what we see out there, but like I said, certain things wasn't going our way. Like certain play calls, we were certain play calls we just wasn't getting that we wanted to get the offense going, and like I said, we could just only do what we told to do at the end of the day.
So yeah, I mean, the offense wanted better play calls. Tomlin saying, the game plan doesn't matter. It's about execution, which I mean, it's all fairness. I mean, you could have whatever game plan you want, but you need to execute it. And then Deontay saying the offense needs to be kind of just different and not just listen to what the coach is saying, what the coach is calling. I know Canada's calling plays from the booth. There's been a lot of times though when our offense seems to be doing well, it's because Ben's going no huddle and he's calling plays from the gun. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I just think I think it's like Tomlin makes a lot of sense. Like, what's the point of having a game plan if you can't actually do anything, right?
Right, yeah.
If you're not getting the catches you want, if you're dropping balls, right? It's like you can't actually do anything. And right now, Deontay sounds like they're not getting the play calls they want. So it seems like maybe there's a disconnect between like Canada and the players right now. Like obviously, like you just said, when Ben is making the calls in the no huddle, the offense looks 1,000 times better. So
I mean, we could go like back and forth all day about but the third down play calls have always like kind of stuck out to me. Like, what are we doing? I don't know if it comes down to the lack of personnel. I know our O line has just been terrible to describe it. Ben doesn't have the time. We kind of have to just go for the short passes. Ben has to go to the check downs right away on a 3rd and like 7 maybe, and then we can't really do much there. And then in Deontay's case, I don't know. I mean, I brought up the 3rd and 2 drop earlier, and I mean Deontay. I think we kind of agree that he's our number 1 playmaker, and to disappoint in crucial times, it really sucks, especially for someone that we've kind of grown fond of these past couple years, because he's been really electric on the field. But yeah, I mean, I have another quote here, another clip as well that I'll pull up from Juju. Speaking of just receivers in general, I don't know. Deontay kind of just makes a hard case for himself because he really just didn't display anything worthy in the playoff game to warrant a good paycheck, which I'm pretty sure he's looking for. And maybe his stats during the season, they were good though, right? I think he was like top 10 in a lot of categories. Pro Bowl snub, in my opinion, as well.
I think he might have gotten that snub into his head, and that's probably a little bit of why he struggled towards the end of the year.
I could see that. But yeah, I have a clip from Juju, which one of the main headlines this going into this game was him coming back off IR with a shoulder injury against the Broncos. I believe like week 5, early October, came back after 3 months, and I believe the timetable was supposed to be 6 months. So let's see what he has to say. Are you guys ready for this one?
Yeah.
Clean, and you're like,
Honestly, no, because I was planning. I don't think nobody knew, not even my mom, the times that I was away from the team and away from the facility, I was always working. I was working to get my shoulder back. Since the day I got hurt, I told myself, this injury was a 6-month injury recovery. I told myself I'm doing it in 3. And when I got cleared, I was like, no hesitation, it's time to go. So everything I was doing outside of the facility to get to where I'm at today and to show other teams that I'm healthy, So, and like I said, I'm just happy to be out there with my boys.
How challenging was it for you to kind of go through this away from...
All right. Nothing really big coming out of Juju's performance. I think I did see him catch a crucial 3rd down conversion. But he is a piece I'd like to see come back on this offense. I know he wants to stay in Pittsburgh. I think it'd be a huge loss for the culture if we let him walk. I don't know what you guys think of Juju.
I think Juju's one of the big leaders on this offense, and with Ben not coming back next year potentially, I think he would be the leader. Him and Najee would probably be the 2 main guys. I don't see Deontay or Chase being leaders on this team at all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Deontay gives like guy that's super talented, but just wants to be left
Keeps to
alone
himself,
almost.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Juju seems way more all right, let's fucking do this, you guys. He seems
Juju
more like
definitely
a player.
definitely a good leader on the field. I'm sure he provides amazing locker room presence behind closed doors. TikTok antics aside, I mean, there was not really much of it this past year. It's good to see that he's matured from that, and I really hope we bring him back. Make him a Steeler for life. You can call me on that. I think we'll get into. I think Ben had some things to say on his last game. I think Ben's next. Yeah. I had a couple of Ben here. You guys ready for this one?
Yeah.
All right.
Not just this year, but whenever you get a bunch of new guys, once you start to lose some of the old regime, if you will, you got to find ways to pass it down. And we've got some guys in there that will continue to do that. I gave Cam a big hug and told him it's on him now. It's his job to pass it down and to keep teaching and holding guys to the Pittsburgh standard.
is this harder to meet?
I mean, you can tell Ben's really emotional. You can see it in his eyes. Who knows what went on in the locker room before this? But yeah, we were just saying that. Our True was just saying with Ben retiring, the torch is being passed. He said right here to Cam Hayward. He said mention other guys in the locker room as well. Juju is gonna have to be that piece going to the next season. I think he'll probably be the longest tenured Steeler on the offense, right? Or is there someone else?
I think it's him.
It's him, right?
That's
oldest
crazy.
receiver, I think.
But
too.
it's going into maybe I think it's his 6th year now for next year.
Yeah.
That's shocking. The whole line.
And Juju came into the league really young though too.
Yeah, he was not even 21, I believe. Yeah, he was 20.
I believe he's younger than Deontay.
Yeah, I think I
No
heard
way.
that. Yeah,
Really?
Deontay came in the league probably 2 years after him, and Juju's still younger.
Whoa.
Claypool might even be the same age as him. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, it sucks to see. I mean, we'll do another episode, kind of just, giving our praises to Ben when I guess the retirement is made official, press conference, whatever, however Ben wants to go out. But yeah, when it's made official, we'll do it. We'll go into that. But I mean, Ben this year, he gave it all he can. He could. I mean, I know that's what he wants to be known for. He gave it everything he got at the end of the day. But he was just a shell of his former self. You guys could agree, right?
Yeah, I mean, considering the offensive line we had, we didn't really put in anything into it this offseason, really, except for a 3rd round and a 4th round pick. I don't know what we really expected to happen with an old Ben. And I think he outperformed what we expected from that line.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what other quarterbacks
I
perform
think
better behind that
everyone-
line.
I don't know about you guys. I expected like a top 10 pick this year with Ben at the helm. Just straight up retirement tour.
I mean, I kind of talked myself into that beginning of the year. Like, this is gonna be a retirement tour for Ben. Huge question mark on the O-line. There was the debate of whether we should went O-line instead of drafting Najee. But looking back on it, this offense was kind of set up for failure without. I mean, I don't know if you could put it on the O-line coach or just the front
There was
office
just
on
no
who they brought
investment
in.
at all. There was
Yeah,
no investment at all from into the O line. That's pretty much why it wasn't good at all.
I
There's a
mean,
lot of problems with the offense. Like, a lot of people, the only argument there is for Canada right now as a play caller is that we don't have the personnel for his offense.
who knows what his
Right.
offense is too. Maybe he
It's
needs a
true.
mobile quarterback. Maybe he needs a better O-line. He needs a run game to go with it. Who knows?
I think he really needs a run game. I think Najee is perfect for it, but we just need the offensive
I'm
line.
really, really excited to see where Najee goes these next few years. It was
I'm
just
scared he
unbelievable.
I'm scared we might just run him into the ground if we don't put a
That
line
could
around him.
happen too. I mean, but just based off that Browns game, for Ben's final home game at Heinz, that was a really good game to watch from Najee. I think that was his best game overall, probably by a mile.
Yeah, it was a great game.
But it was good to see improvement though, just based off of Najee, because I think one of our problems last year was when it came down to short yardage situations on 3rd and 1s or at the goal line. And I honestly felt like a for sure thing. If we gave Najee the ball, it gave us kind of Jerome Bettis vibes back in the day. You gave it to him in the short yardage situations, and he came out clutch for us. But I mean, there's not much you could do with just a running back. You need the O line around it. You need quarterback that can move the ball around more, and Ben gave it everything he got. I mean, I could get emotional about it, but honestly, I tip my hat off to him though. He stood in there. We would have liked to done more in the playoffs, but we were lucky to even get into the playoffs. We thought we were just watching his last game a week ago, and
We were just happy
snuck
to be
in.
there, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. But yeah, I mentioned passing the torch to Cam in the locker room before this play or before his press conference. So we'll get into what Cam Hayward had to say. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Appreciate that, man. The way he's battled, the way he is always giving us a chance. Man, when you talk about having toughness as a quarterback, and you talk about a guy that's just going to give you everything he's got, can't ask for any more from that man right there. I don't know about passing any torches or anything. This one stings.
Sam, how much has
All right. You could tell as well. With Ben and him, he looked emotional as well. Probably it took him a while to kind of come up with the words to say. But yeah, he's the guy now. He's the veteran in the locker room. He's the captain now. With Ben retiring, it's all on Cam. And he is coming off a great year. Then you got all pro status with TJ.
First team All Pro.
Yep. Him and TJ are gonna be the guys now. That are gonna lead this team.
How old is Hayward?
Hayward's
32.
32 now.
Okay.
This guy needs a Super Bowl, man. We got to get back there just for him.
We
Think we
drafted
have-
him after the Packers Super
The
Bowl.
Packers lost, right? Yeah.
This is probably his best year.
Yeah, which is crazy. It took quite a while for him to start going. I don't remember really much of him until maybe his 5th year, right? He really started taking off.
His first
yeah.
All Pro was 2017.
Yeah.
That's already 6-7 years into his career.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
don't really see that.
one of probably the
remember he
last
was having a-
guys. What happened?
I was gonna say I remember he was having a really big year and he like tore his pec or something, right?
Yeah, I think that might have been going into the postseason late in the year, right?
Mhm.
That was a huge thing for us. I forgot what playoff run that might have been for. But yeah, he's one of the last guys that got to be around that dominant defense we had the late 2000s, early 2010s. He was along the likes of Brett Kiesel, Lawrence Timmons, Troy,
Smith.
Aaron Smith, James Harrison, Lamar Woodley. I think you could throw that name in there too. But yeah, I mean, he knows what it is to be a Steeler, and I really hope we could do something for him, man, in these next few years. I don't know how many years he has left. It looks like he's hitting his prime barely. I think
Yeah,
he's
It's pretty crazy.
third all pro in the last 4 years, I believe, at 32 years old. I hope he could keep up. Um, it'll be a huge loss if he retires and we don't get a Super Bowl for him, because he's probably one of the best Steelers on defense the last 10 years outside of TJ. TJ's just been nothing but a
He's shown to be a Hall of Famer. already.
TJ could. I don't know why he doesn't have a defense player of the year. It's because they love Aaron Donald so much.
Could
But
be this year.
TJ could be a Hall of Famer right now if he retired. No, not really. But Cam Hayward has definitely played his case for Hall of Fame status these last few years. If he keeps it going, I could see him being a Hall of Famer. First ballot, not so sure, but I'm interested to see what he could do as he moves on to his later years.
I think he can keep it up. I don't like the fact that he's peaking right now tells me that his game isn't based purely on like athleticism or
Yeah.
agility or anything. It seems very, very technique based, and he's just really great.
And I really like the pieces. I think one of the highlights, we're gonna kind of get into this now, but one of the highlights of the season is seeing how well Montravius Adams and who else, Chris Wormley, have kind of gotten
Came
better
in.
as the season gone on. We lost Alualu at the beginning of the year. There was a question mark about Stephon Tuitt, his availability this season. And I'm sure without a guy like Cam Hayward in the locker room and being a leader that he is, guys like Adams, Wormley, Mondo as well. Who knows if they even are close to what they are without Hayward. But yeah, that'll bring us to our recap of the season. Starting with week 1. Who has that? I'll pull it up.
The Bills week 1.
Bills week 1, right? This was a game. No one had us winning, right? I believe.
I didn't think we'd win.
A great game.
It was a fun
mean-
game to watch. 23-16. I'm looking at the score box here. We're down 10-0 at halftime. This is the game with the blocked kick, right?
The block punt, right?
Yeah, blocked punt. Yeah.
Touchdown.
For a touchdown. Again, I think this game could perfectly encapsulate our season here. Offense, nothing in the first half. Defense or special teams makes a play to get us in it. Offense kind of clicks. I mean, look at Ben here. 18 for 32, 188 yards, 1 touchdown. I'm pretty sure 95% of those yards probably came in the second half. Najee's pro debut, 16 carries for 45 yards. I mean, that'll show. That's how our O-line looked pretty much the whole year. And then after starting out 1-0, we're just like, all right, well, maybe we are good. Maybe we have something here. But then we quickly hit a decline. We lost 3 straight. Fell to the Raiders and Bengals at home. Scored to the Raiders 26-17. And then it scored to the Bengals 24-10. We got our first taste of Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase in that game. I think they connected twice. That one stung. And then we went to Lambeau Field for the Packers. And this was that infamous Joe Hayden, was it a blocked field goal? And we thought we run it back. Then it got called back for an offsides. We saw the playback, and
It looked clean.
it was clean.
And that was pretty much the difference in that game.
Yeah, it was like a 10-point swing right before the half there. And then we finally got a bounce back. We had as typical Steeler teams these past few years, we start slow and then we kind of pick it up as we head into October. I think we won like 4 straight here.
Yeah, we're
beat the-
1-3 and then we're 5-3.
Beat the Broncos 29-17. The Russell Wilson-less Seahawks in OT.
On Sunday night.
Sunday, was that Sunday? Oh yeah. That Browns game was pretty fun to watch too as well. We saw I think our defense looked really good that game. We thought we were picking it back up. Final score
running game
15-0 or 15-10. You said
I
our
believe
running.
Najee had, let's see what
Najee.
Najee had 26 for 91.
That's
and a
really
touchdown.
good. Najee has had 2 good games against the Browns. That's really interesting. And then it was a Monday nighter. 29-27 to the Bears. That taunting call on the ex-Steeler, was it Marsh?
Yeah,
That had
Marsh.
Twitter going crazy.
Yeah.
But
He
I
had
thought
it
it was a
coming.
penalty.
he had it coming. I mean,
Absolutely disgusting. I don't want to see that kind of stuff in my game.
you need a clean game here. I don't know what to think of that. I mean, but at that point, it seemed like the consistent call to make, and the NFL was cracking down on it. But yeah, heading into the ultimate trap game, we honestly saw at this point, and then to top it off, I think Ben was put on the COVID list the night before the Lions game, the Mason Rudolph, Jared Goff showdown 2.0. And in a game, I think I was there, so I could recall this. It was actually probably the coldest game of the season so far. I think there was like light rain the whole game. And Mason Rudolph attempts 50 passes. Yeah, you could add an OT as well, but like, why is our backup QB coming in the night before throwing 50 passes against at the time the 0-8 Lions? Which is what the first thing that kind of stuck out to me. I was like the first strike. I was like, all right, what are we doing here? Najee Harris had 105 yards rushing, so you can't tell me on 26 carries too with a 4-yard average. I mean,
I don't know why he didn't run the ball more.
yeah, I'm sure you could have ran it more against the Lions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 50 attempts, 30 completions, 242 yards. That's when we really start to kind of hit a decline. I think we lost the next game too to the Chargers, 37-41. That was a really good showdown. I think that could have been, apart from the last Sunday night game, the Chargers and Raiders, that could have been game of the year. Honestly, this game, we were down 27-10 at one point. I think if this, I'm just going off the score box after the third quarter.
Yeah, 27-10 after the third.
And then Ben, I think that's the best game Ben probably had all year. 3 touchdowns, 273 yards, 28 for 44. Can't really ask for a better performance out of Ben. Justin Herbert, great quarterback. I'm interested to see how he does later in his career. 30 for 41, 382 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. I believe Minka Fitzpatrick and Joe Hayden were out of in this game, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, no excuses, but Justin Herbert fucking lit us up.
That was probably the most exciting game of our
Yeah,
season.
that was a fun game to watch. Just to give up 41 points again to the Bengals in Cincinnati. Our offense only puts up 10. That was an ugly game. That was one you could have turned off after 2 quarters. And then a big game against the Ravens. First Ravens meeting of the season coming December 5th. I'm not sure how I feel about that, honestly.
A little too late.
Yeah.
Should play like September or October.
Yeah. Great game overall, though. Coming off, we get the win off a John Harbaugh failed 2-point conversion, making the score 20-19. And then another game we thought we should have turned off after the third or second quarter here. The fucking Minnesota Vikings on Thursday night. 28-36 loss. Game was lost on the I'm not gonna say a drop by Pat Freiermuth, but on the last play of the game, Freiermuth had the ball, then he gets it knocked out of his hands. This one stung.
Great play on the ball.
Yeah.
Can't really blame Freiermuth for that.
Yeah. But we're that close from leading a comeback.
Best game of the season?
What's up?
Is this Ben's second best game of the season behind the Chargers?
Oh, Ben in the fourth quarter of this game? I mean, I'm looking at the score box here. We had 21 in the fourth. I don't know what our largest deficit was in this game. It could have been, honestly, just like 29? If our 7 points in the third came after?
I want to say this is Ben's best game of the season. Just like, because thinking of the Chargers game, sure, we scored more points, but the defense gave him a short field every time.
I think Ben had more yards in this game, actually. Let me check. He had 308 against the Vikings, 273 against the Chargers. Yeah. I mean, who knows how the season goes if we finish these comebacks. I know we had the lead at one point against the Chargers before we gave up like an 80-yard touchdown. I think it was Mike Williams, maybe. And then the Vikings were so close to sending it to overtime. We would have needed the 2-point conversion after the Freiermuth failed touchdown. And then we had a big matchup at Heinz Field, going up against the would-be first seed Titans, which we won. Our defense first 4 turnovers that game. Of course, the Titans missing what's his name, the running back, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, I believe they're missing AJ Brown as well. But we end up winning 19-13. With how many turnovers our defense produced, I would have loved to see our offense have a lot more points. But, you know, I mean, what can you do? Then we had our first meeting against the Chiefs. That one's one you couldn't have turned off after the second quarter as well. 36-10. I don't want to get into that. And then we have these last 2 games, which honestly might be 2 games I might remember for the rest of my life. Ben's last home game against the Browns on the Monday night game. I mean, Ben had a forgettable performance as well, though. 24 for 46, 123 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. But this is the Najee breaking out game that we were looking for all year long. 28 carries for 188 yards, 6.7 yard average, and a touchdown to seal the game late in the 4th. And then another nail biter against the Ravens to end the year. We won in overtime off a Chris Boswell field goal. Ben 30 for 44, 244 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Better performance out of him again compared to the Browns one. Of course, we went up against Tyler Huntley, who threw 2 picks as well.
I think Najee got hurt this game too.
Yeah, this is the game we missed Najee for like the whole game until the end of the 4th, right, where he came back when we really needed him.
Yeah, probably like half the game, I would say.
Yeah, and
At
then
least.
yeah, I think it might have been the first drive of the game actually where Najee went down. And then thankfully to the Jaguars beating the Colts and the Chargers and Raiders not tying, we were able to get into the playoffs, which had the whole Steelers fan base shook. That sent us to the playoffs to lose to the Chiefs again with the final score 42-21, which we discussed earlier. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the season wrap up. I mean, we went over the highs and lows, what we liked, what we didn't like. We'll give our individual awards. I mean, who would you say it was our offensive player of the year?
I might say Deontay, honestly.
Deontay, yeah. Who about
I
you?
would say so. Maybe. I mean, Najee just for making the offense more dynamic.
You could say not Deontay. Najee. I'm gonna just go ahead just to be different. I'm just gonna say Ben.
Made the season worth watching.
He made the season worth watching. He kept us in games. He also kept us out of games. But I mean, I don't think you could put the whole blame on the offense on Ben. It started with the O-line. And then I think we could all agree, defensive player of the year, TJ, right? All around.
Yeah, easy.
100%.
Unbelievable year out of him. That was another high point of the year. Made the season worth watching. But yeah, there's nothing less to talk about besides this upcoming offseason, which will be perhaps the most interesting offseason in Steelers history. We have a lot to do, a lot that has been delayed. We've heard news this morning of Keith Butler with a potential retirement as well. The whole Steeler Nation wants Canada gone as well. We'll see what happens there. Of course, Ben's retiring. Everyone's wondering what will happen. But yeah, any bold predictions to make? I know we're gonna go into this more in another episode, but just to end this episode off, what do you guys think?
Bold prediction for defense: we hire from within.
Daryl Austin will
I don't know, really going crazy.
Hire within. I will be in
But-
shambles if we hire from within.
I think my bold prediction is that we actually fire Matt Canada and hire an OC from a different team that is actually successful.
There's with a lot of the head coaches gone. I don't know if some will get other head coaching jobs. Some will have to settle for coordinator positions. Who knows if we kick the tires on them? But my bold prediction is we trade up in the draft to get Kenny Pickett. But yeah, that's gonna end it for this episode. We'll see you guys hopefully next week where we'll discuss more offseason predictions. And yeah, signing off, guys. Till next time.
See you later.